Welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a layout for the creative team for Scrap a Sketch, and this is the sketch for March 14th, and you can find it up on the website. I'm going to flip it like this. Those tags are really fun, and I'm actually going to do something a little different with them, but they're still going to be tags. And when I saw this sketch, I knew I wanted to scrap these pictures, and they're at Heritage Park when Mary Poppins returns, and they had this display, and my kids really loved it. So I pulled out this Spellbinders Die of the Month. I think it is from December 2023. A lot of their dies of the month and that kind of stuff you can find on their website, even if it's past what it is. So other shapes would work for this too. So I'm using these are going to be the toppers of my tags, and they're actually going to connect to some of those pictures. So when I was looking at this is what I kind of thought of doing. And so I'm just showing you how I do the die from one of them, and as you can see, some of them are already done. Obviously, from the picture on the front, these umbrellas don't stay exactly like this, but that's okay. I've used all scraps on this layout too, so I'm not entirely sure what the names of different papers are because they literally came from my scrap bin. And so, yeah. So this one came from the piece of paper that's beside that has those roses in it. It was just thought it worked with the colors in those umbrellas. And this is a Hero Arts glitter pen, and so I thought the tops and the little circles on the bottom of the umbrella could be a bit sparkly and play off that it's actually wintertime. I could have actually done a little bit more on the umbrella tops to make it look like there was snow on the umbrellas, but I didn't think about that until I was doing this. So yeah. So this one picture here where they're all a little bit closer up from my husband and my kiddos is going to be the center focus photo. And then the other ones will get attached to those umbrellas, like I just said. So I'm going to make a mat for the one photo. I'm going to cut the other photos down. This process did actually take me 3 hours to do. Mostly because I had an idea in my head and I wanted to make it work like it was in my head, and so that took a little bit of, nope, that's not quite what I saw, nope, that's not quite. So I did cut out some of the process where I could, so I left this in. I'll show you when I cut down one of the smaller pictures, but I don't make you watch all of the other ones just because this is a lot in here to begin with. So I'm only going to single mat this because my picture has a white border around it already. I don't usually print with white borders, but for some reason these ones I did. And yeah, I never put anything on straight the first time around, it feels like. So that's me tearing it back up, and whatever, it is what it is. And there's a little bit of something on the picture. I'm not going to worry about it. And then these ones are going to get cut down. They end up being like a little bigger than 3x5s, but just taking a look at the first one that I did, and then this one, cut, done. They're all going to look very similar to that. So, and done. And then this was a piece that I had left over, and it's a border strip. You can see the border on the bottom corner. If you want to know what that border punch is called, just leave me a message in my comments, and I'll go take a look. I'm not sure if there's a name on it or not, but I'll see what I can find. And then I was playing with how did I want the umbrellas to go. So I put the stem of the umbrella on one of them to play around with it, and then I was like, I don't know. And then this is some of my scraps from my scrap bin, and I sped this up quite a bit because, as I said, this is already a long video. So I just pulled out some things that I thought would work. It doesn't have to be full length because the picture in the middle of the sketch kind of breaks up that linear piece, so I don't have to have a whole 12-inch strip. It makes it easier if you do sometimes, but it's not mandatory. So I'm just going through some of the scraps really quick, picking out some of the things that might work with the umbrellas and with the colors that I have already picked out with that one paper. And I also have some like junky kind of pieces, so that's the top of a calendar, and I kept it because it has that notebook punch on the top. I don't have a notebook punch, so I thought maybe I'd use that on this one. I don't, but I thought about it. And then those I felt were a little small, and then this last piece I picked out. So I really liked that checkered black and white, and so I was looking at it as that main piece, because why not? And then you'll see in a second, I turn it over and I go, oh. Thinking it on black and doing like a black and white thing, and then I turn it over and go, oh, look at these houses. They're wintertime houses. It's Mary Poppins. This is totally perfect in theme wise. The red is in the paper I've already used. The blue is a little lighter than, well, a lot lighter than that navy, but I'm like, yep, I'm going with this piece. So there's that piece. It was only about probably 8 inches long, because it was definitely not 12, as you can see. And so I'm looking at, hey, how do I want this to kind of look? I wanted to see what it was kind of be like before I made that decision on that paper, and I totally am gonna use that one because I like it, and it kind of goes theme wise. So I'm gonna cut it right here because that's where it will overlap with the focal picture, and then I don't have that whole middle gap is going to be covered. So that works out pretty awesome. I really like this sketch from Lisa. It got me thinking. So yeah, lots of fun. If you're not part of the Scrap a Sketch Facebook group, it would be awesome to go check her out. She does a sketch every Friday. So this piece of paper is actually a backing from, I think it was stickers from Hip Kit Club, and it's got this really nice little pinky red polka dot. So I'm going to use that as this backing piece. So I was feeling like this was a little dark to start with, and I was not sure if it was because of my umbrellas or if it was because I obviously put black on this page. I wanted some of this to pop more, but I was like, So as I'm going through this, I'm like, I'm not quite sure about something, but I wasn't sure what was bothering me about this page, but something was bothering me. So I decided to do little bits of tape on this to kind of get it set down where I would think it would go. And because it's just a little bit, I can tear it up, and I do tear it up quite a few times. But I do take out a lot of that process so that you're just not watching me do the same thing over and over and over again, because that would be kind of boring. So I'm also trying to think about how I'm going to get these hidden journaling, or there's hidden journaling, but these hidden pictures in there too, with all these different bits and pieces. So I am going to get some of this kind of situated and planned out, and then later I'm going to put foam and stuff on it. But it was really a process for me for this one. I really like it. It's one of my favorite layouts that I've done in a really long time. But and then this piece goes under here. It's going to change up a little bit because I wanted more underneath, but that's okay. I thought about this piece, but I was already feeling it was too dark, and I wanted to tie the navy in another spot. So that's why I used the scalloped, and it was sitting here because I had it prepped for a weekend scrapbook layout thing that I did at our local shop. So, which I had 26 layouts done, which is insane. It was awesome. So I'm also looking at, do I want the stems of the umbrellas attached to the umbrellas, or can they just be on the paper? That's one of the things I'm thinking about right now. I know I like this, so this is going to pop on here. What's more fuss about? I guess I could have taken some more of this out, but that's okay. So I was wondering if there was another, like that other piece, if it would work. I knew there was something bugging me, so I rearranged the umbrellas so that it was one type, the other type, because maybe that would make me feel better about it. And I'm like, huh. So I was also debating doing back to back, which I do some that way. And here I'm looking at that umbrella stem again. Can I get it lined up for where it is kind of on the picture? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I don't like, it needs to be the right size to stick on there right. And I didn't want to tack it down onto the picture, but I knew that the in and out would wreck that stem. So I'm trying to decide, do I tack it to the picture and not see the stem, or see the stem and tack it to my paper, or leave it open? So there was a lot of decisions kind of to make with just that stem part, which sounds ridiculous, but it totally was. And then I pulled out this piece of paper. It was in my scrap bin as well, and I pulled out this Spellbinders die. It's a Nespilities. I can't even say it. It's really, really, really old. I like it because look at all the hearts that I get out of it, for like actual itty bitty hearts. And so, and it kind of looks like a doily, but not quite a doily. So that's going to take part on this circle piece that is in the original in the top, on top, but because I rotated this 180 degrees, it's on my bottom. And so that's going to work. And I chose that one because I wanted to brighten the page up, because I was feeling like it was quite dark. It's still way too dark. That's okay. And then I'm like, I'm going to pull in this blue, because I definitely thought it was too dark, and pull it right all off. That black piece I'll use, not a big deal. And then get it all back on. And that I'm already liking so much more. Just because it does definitely brighten that paper up. It's not so heavy, I think, is what my problem was. And I still get touches of black on here, but it's not overwhelming. I still think those umbrellas are a little heavy and a little dark. So we do sit with that for a little bit, and on those go. This is what it looks like. And then I popped off a bit, came back, decided I was going to trim this off so it's not as big of a border piece around this picture. And I am going to decide to change out the rose red in the umbrellas to that doily here right away. So just scuffing up this edge and going, okay, that's okay. This is going to go back on. That's okay. I know this is going to be pretty much where this is, so I'm just going to tack that down a little bit. And then I went off, my phone rang and all sorts of things. So I took a break and then ran that XO paper through that dye again and replaced all of those with that. And I like this so much more. So that gets rid of the heaviness of it. Those look a little brighter. I think it needed a bit more contrast in the umbrella tops as well. And so that I'm liking more. This I'm trying to figure out how do I put together so that I can do the tags in between. And so I go get a piece of cardstock and I'm going to attach it all together from the back. So I already did that part. And then because there's all these different layers and bits and stuff, my pictures on behind need something to protect them. So I did some, this is just scrap cardstock that I don't really like this color. So I'm just going to make it work so that I have not as many edges that my tags have to fight. So I'm going to get this on. And I don't have to worry about the bottom part because my tags won't go down that far. But this makes it easier to like move stuff around. And I also had tape on places where I didn't really want tape to be, so that fixed that as well. So, and then this strip makes it work quite a bit better too. So there we go. Oh, that's all put together. Putting that together took me probably 20 minutes. So yay, I took that out. And now I'm going to show you a little bit of what I do here to give this some room to slide in and out. So I've got foam in my hand and I'm made all the little spots around where my foam is and or where my pictures are, and then the rest of it's going to get backed in foam too, just so that you don't have saggy bits, and that's how I do that. And then all that foam will get glued down. So, and then just taking a look at what I want this to look like. That works out. Those are going to move okay now. These are going to go on top like so. Just giving myself that visual again. I know you guys have seen this a lot, but there's a lot of times during this process that I just sat and I waited and looked and literally just stared. So, yeah. Okay, so finally happy with that. So I'm going to get this all glued down. Making decisions. I don't want it to move, so yeah, there is a lot of glue going on. I think I want one of those Sweet Petunia hand glue press things, but our local store doesn't have one yet, so not yet, but I think I do want one of those eventually. So just get the pieces stuck down. That works out really well. I'm really liking that now. And now deciding on the umbrella bits. So I do like the stem on the outside. Just making sure that's stuck good before I start playing. Okay, so these are going to go underneath. And I thought about backing it in the blue. I end up actually backing it in the same paper as that Hip Kit Club backing paper for the stickers. I had a little bit of that left, so I'm going to actually use that instead of that blue. And my journaling is going to go on that as well, so that should be coming up here in a second. I am going to show you how I do one of these for the top part. So I do my foam dots because I want it to have some dimension. I want it to slide nicely on top of that paper, and so adding the foam onto it and then onto the picture will give a little bit of a break so that it does have a spot to sit. And then I'm going to, this is where I decided for sure I'm going to take the stem off. I just couldn't get it lined up quite where I wanted it to, and it was too distracting for me on the picture. So on it goes, faff about. This is why I didn't show you all three of them. so like that, and then I'm going to slice off just the hanging out bits because I don't want to see the pictures on my layout when it's in. And so that works out really well. And then I have this top piece that's going to go on. And so I just did the extra ones of the background die in black so that I'd have a backing piece for it, because I knew something like this was going to happen with these. I just didn't know exactly what. And then the stem's going to go like that. And I'll do something to make it not look so awkward when they're out for the tags, but they're not going to be out very often, so not a big deal. And then, so all of those are stuck down now. And now I'm looking for my stem because I misplaced it, and yay, there it is. And so I'll show you how I do one of these stem pieces too, because in the die cut, there actually isn't a stem like this, it's a heart, and that's where the black heart came from, but I didn't want sideways hearts on this, and so the stem's all going to look like this, which is perfect, and it came from this die, so I'm going to do a few more of these because yeah, I need them. So this is what it's supposed to look like if you're using it with the die. And it also has like two people that are like hiding, probably kissing underneath the umbrella, but obviously that doesn't make sense for this layout, but I like the umbrella. And so I did a bunch of those pieces just out of black cardstock, and this is how I do the stem. So I'm going to snip off the upper part of the heart and then follow the curve around the lower part of the heart, and now I have a stem. Could I have cut something like that? Totally could have. Would have they been even remotely similar? Not even close. So on the top of each of those, just above where the handle would be, I did put one of those black hearts, and I like that. Doing this snip as well, and on this last one, because there's no pictures, I can just glue it all together. And this is what I would typically do if I wasn't doing them as a tag, but using non-traditional shapes as tags is a lot of fun to do, but man, does it make your brain have to work on how to make it slide and work if you want them to move on your page, especially if you want them to move. If I just wanted to put those on and maybe did a flip on my photos instead of having hidden photos, that totally would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of thinking on this layout. But this is also that piece that I cut that are the stems. You can also do it as a border piece, and so I decided I liked it going all the way across the bottom here, and they are not long enough because it's meant to go on a card, so I'm just going to use another piece that I cut of it, that I cut off from the stem for the longer bit. Just going to match it up, and then it is tucked on both sides over top of the border background mat and underneath the picture. So, and then getting the rest of this on. And then I thought about putting a couple little hearts down here. I didn't think it needed it. I didn't want my eye to be drawn down to that corner. I thought about putting them up over where that circle doily that I cut was too, but I didn't feel like it needed it. But I do want to play with some of this a little bit. So now I think I'm going to get to my journaling. Almost, not quite. So heart goes on top here, and so that kind of finishes up these stems. So when these are out, it's, I don't know, just not a weird hanging line. It's still kind of a weird hanging line, but I thought it'd be cute. So, and I did want to finish this up a little bit. So just like that. So there's a little bit of space between the stem and that heart that I'm putting on, but it doesn't quite look like that when I'm doing it on camera here. And trying to get it straight so my head keeps coming into view. Okay, and then I pulled out my black and white bin. I was looking for a title. I pulled out this Our Life. It's not gonna work, but it could have worked. I just, meh. Pulled out some stuff to try and like add some more to it. Don't really need too much more. I just need a title. There is a journaling spot on the sketch that comes out from, it would be the left side of my layout at the moment, kind of where my title is. But I have room to do some hidden journaling. My journaling didn't need to be hidden. There's nothing secretive about it, but, and there was some stuff on this Our Life, which, meh. So I went away and, I'm going to do my journaling first. And then I'm going to go away and think about it and come back to it the next day, because literally this took lots of thought. But so here's the piece that I have left over, and going to do my journaling first, and I'm going to back the other picture that doesn't have a second picture on it in it too. And then my journaling says, while visiting Heritage Park for Christmas, there was a Mary Poppins display. You were both very excited about umbrellas in winter. And so I'll probably do something similar, or if not this page-ish again, for whoever doesn't get this page in their book, because my kids are very much, hey mama, I need this too. So you can see that I did my journaling to start with, and I did it too high up because it's going to slide underneath this umbrella. So I did have to redo it. So I didn't make you watch that either. There's a lot there that I actually cut out. But yes, this was literally a 3-hour process for me for this time. So usually I don't cut this much out, and typically I don't speed it up as fast for a lot of it. But yeah, I pulled out this chipboard for it's from Hip Kit Club, and it's obviously says happy. The green was really hard for me to use, so I decided to pull out some of my black ink. So this was StazOn, and my StazOn needs to be re-inked. It needs to be inked all the time. But I also have this archival one, so I'm just smushing the archival on top and getting a pretty good coverage. And then this black works so well. I'm gonna just use a little bit of the heat gun on it, and then it's gonna go here. I love that title. It also takes some of that room for where that journaling bit would have been, so I don't have to worry about trying to figure out if I want to put something else there. These hearts that I'm grabbing came from the doily, so I'm just going to sprinkle them around. Each of the black ones gets a partner XO one, even though you can't really see that it X is as O's. And that's the last bit I do for this. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Here I'm showing you how these turned out and what they look like, and they're pretty easy to slide in and out. My youngest, when I showed her this, was like, but mom, we're never going to know whether to pull your pages out and if there's other pictures hiding or not, because you do such a good job of hiding your pictures. But I'll probably do a slit on the page protector when I put them in a page protector so that it can be visible that there is that bit there. And there's some close-ups, and here are some close-ups as well. I really appreciate it if you made it this far with me. I would love it if you went and took a look at Lisa's sketches. There's another creative design team member that did this as well. You can see those sliding out on this one, which is lots of fun. Scrap-a-Sketch also has premium sketches that you can pay for. It's a subscription and printables. And so if you check that out, you can do 10% off by entering my code Amanda10. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.